So we are waiting now for the official start of the Predatortour Day 1. There are easier tournaments, but this isn't one of them. The season has just begun, the fish are in transition, the patterns are changing, and every decision matters.
And then there's the field. Oh my god. The best teams of Europe. Years of experience. Thousands of hours on the water. And this year, Mother Nature decided to make things even harder. Wind, rain, and conditions that would test everything.
Our plan this morning is to start around the banana here. Not necessarily because the best spots are here, but it gives us the maximum flexibility. We can have a speeding zone here, and we can go over the entire Hollands Diep. A lot of areas we want to fish are more protected from the wind here, and depending on what we find, we can quickly adjust our game plan. The big question is still whether the fish have moved into the growing vegetation or whether they are holding deeper like they did in the scouting periods. So we really did not have the time to verify that properly before the tournament as the training days were limited. So today we will get those answers quickly, I guess. And the crowd is going absolutely wild. It's a big perch, 49 centimeters, first fish of the day. Super happy with it. It's just outside the camera reach here of the live stream. Love it. Second perch of the tournament of the Predatortour 2026 for us, for Team Jarocells. I took it on the Core Bouncer in a very bright color. You see, I had to cut it because it was a bit deep. Yeah, so I have seen some more fish over there. So, oh, now he's biting my tongue. So I will release the fish now and then try to catch some more. Okay, let's do this. And as the first hour went by, everything seemed to be going according to plan. We were catching nice perch, the bites were coming, the strategy was working, but tournament fishing has a way of making you doubt yourself. Even when you're catching fish, you keep asking the same question. Are we making the right decisions?
And just as quickly as the fish started biting that morning, the bite completely died. With 2 pikes still missing from our scorecard, we had no choice but to change tactics. And this was a tactic neither of us really enjoyed. Casting for pike in the weeds.
cast after cast, hour after hour, until eventually Jeffrey got the bite we were looking for. Another pike in the boat, one pike closer to complete scorecard. But as day one came to an end, we were still missing one final pike. So, day one is behind us, and honestly, we're pretty happy with how things went. The conditions were exactly as challenging as we expect them to be. It was a heavy rain, strong winds, and yeah, for us a lot of uncertainty. But despite all of that, we managed to put together a solid day. We caught fish throughout the day, but one thing that really was standing out was that there was a biting window in the morning. We managed to almost fill our entire scorecard. Only one pike is missing. We tried several approaches. We used spin jig, which produced some fish. We used Carolina rig, which was very challenging in this weather, but it also produced a nice perch. I think being able to adapt throughout the day helped us to stay in the game. And today, I think the timing might be the most important thing of the day, so we will do exactly the same as we did yesterday. We go to the same spot, do the same techniques, and hopefully we can manage to upgrade our perch card a bit and also get our last pike. So yeah, that will be the question of today. Can we improve on the leaderboard and can we fill our entire card, get that last pike? There's still a long way to go, and in the tournaments like this, everything can change in a single hour.
But there was one problem with our plan. We hadn't accounted for the change in wind direction. And with that change, the fish weren't where we were expecting them to be. The first few hours were slow. We could see the fish on the electronics. We knew that they were there, but no matter what we tried, we couldn't convince them to bite.
So we made another move. Back to the weeds, back to the grind. Cast after cast, hour after hour, until finally that one bite came. And with it, the last pike we desperately needed to complete our scorecard.
Our 50 centimeter pike is approved. So yeah, that puts us back in a fighting position. With our scorecard finally complete, we could shift our focus to something else: upgrades. There were still plenty of points to gain in the Zander category, so we left the weeds behind and started hunting individual fish. Vertical fishing, Livescope, sharpshooting, searching for that bigger Zander that could move us up the leaderboard.
Right now we are casting for Zander, and they are pretty active, but they are all the same size. We only catch Zanders from 54 centimeters, and they are not growing. So yeah, we will change the location a bit, change the zone. So they are really active. Jeffrey now has one. Maar het ziet eruit dat je hand is nu. Nee. No. Dus, it's not an improvement, so... On the Core Phantom and the Color Fire Tiger. Yeah, they really like to eat it today, so... Top lure for today. Day 3 of the Predatortour, the final day. And yesterday was a tough one, and it was actually a lot tougher than we expected. The fishing was really slow, and there were moments that it felt like we really made 100 casts without a single touch or single hookup. But yeah, sometimes tournament fishing is like this. And sometimes it comes all down to one single fish, and yesterday it was like that. In the afternoon, Jeffrey finally caught our last pike to fill our cart, and this small 50 centimeter pike. Yeah, it was really a small fish, but this fish was worth more than 1,000 points. So it was not really a giant, but for us it was really a symbolical fish that completed our scorecard. Now today it's the final day, so we had a lot of discussions what to do today. It will all be about upgrades. So we have some room in our pike, we have some room in our Zander, and we could upgrade one single perch. So for perch, I think the best time will be in the morning, the first hour. So that's why we'll go to our spot into the northern part of the lake. The wind is blowing from the south, so historically this also proves to be a bit better, that the bite should be a bit more on. And after that we will focus on Zander and pike. Yesterday we found an area with a lot of active Zanders, but they were all small. There was not a big one, and for a tournament like this you really need big Zanders. So today we will go for a bit the same approach, but we will make more shifts in areas. We will stay maximum a half hour in one single area and then move to another and really search for where are those bigger Zanders. On this final day, it was all about upgrades. We worked through the species one by one. We started with perch, moved to pike, and then to Zander, hitting them when the tide on the water was at its best. Overall, it wasn't our strongest day. And in the end, we only managed to improve our Zanders a little.
All in all, it was another great event. The organization was perfect, and after a long close season, it's always good to see these familiar faces back on the water. After the prize giving, we also had the chance to meet up with people from Core team from all over Europe. Always great to finally put faces to the names. The winners filled an enormous cart, fish after fish, with some real giants. Truly impressive.
And while we're proud to have completed our own cart and conditions this stuff, we take a valuable lesson with us. Everything can change in a single day. Because the season has only just started, and with the World Predator League and the World's Predator Classic still ahead of us in September, this was only the first chapter.